Hello! Today I'm going to be ranking all of the 9 live-action Spider-Man films from worst to best, including the recently released Spider-Man Brand New Day, which I have now seen not once, not twice, but 3 times. So yep, let's get right into the ranking. Starting off with number 9. I know this might upset some people because there are a decent amount of people that like this film for some reason. Well, I know some of the reasons why, but yeah, this is like easily the last place for me. Or maybe not easily, but it's definitely very low for many good reasons. It is the Amazing Spider-Man 2. I don't think that comes as a surprise to anyone. For these movies, I rented all of them on like Fandango because I had a Fandango gift card. Not sponsored, obviously. For this one, I ran out of time. I did not finish it, but I think this movie is pretty bad. Like, honestly, the worst Spider-Man movie. I feel like some people say they like this movie just to be different, but nah, it's just not for me. I mean, honestly, I like Andrew Garfield as a Spider-Man and as Peter Parker.
That's a question. That's a question.
I don't think he's the problem in this movie. I don't think Gwen is the problem. I think those two have very good chemistry and they're great. The thing that I really dislike in this movie is Harry. Honestly, every time he came on the screen with the goofy haircut, it kind of just pissed me off. You know, his lines too were very like, just, nah.
You're a fraud, Spider-Man!
I did not like him at all. Not a good interpretation of Harry Osborn, in my opinion. Electro isn't bad. I think he's like a pretty cool idea for a villain. I liked his like origin, how he was just like a normal good guy who liked Spider-Man, and then obviously fell into the eels, and then he's all evil and like takes all the power from the city. Something I didn't really like was the music that played every time Electro did anything. I don't know. I feel like it was just trying too hard to be all like tough. And I don't know, it just seemed like music that you'd see in like a TikTok edit. I know this came out in 2014, but still. And yeah, I really did not see like the whole final battle to this movie. I got to the part where Harry becomes Green Goblin and I was going to finish it like the day after that. But then it ran out of time because you know how you only have like 48 hours to rent a movie. And I didn't want to rent it again because I was not enjoying this movie at all. But I did rewatch the Gwen falling scene on YouTube, and I'm going to say that is a very good scene. I remember first time seeing that in theaters, I was just shocked, and you know, I was very sad. It's a very emotional scene. Overall though, this movie is pretty boring. The plot is just not good, kind of because of Harry. Loki ruins the movie for me. He ruins the movie. I'm sorry. Next, number 8, we have Spider-Man 3, Sam Raimi's Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3. I have a lot to say about this movie. Like, I wrote a pretty long review. Yeah, a lot of it's me complaining. I'm just going to start off by I'm just going to read my review. This movie was very mid. So much happens that I don't like. Starting off with the villains, there are too many of them. Like maybe if there was one main villain and a ton of other smaller ones, it would be better, which I think is what Brand New Day is going to do. I wrote this before I saw Brand New Day. In Spider-Man 3, there are 3 villains all trying to be the main one and it doesn't work. Like the Sandman is a cool villain because I really liked when it is revealed that he was actually the one that killed Uncle Ben, which gave Spider-Man a good motive to hate him. But then in the end, Spider-Man just forgives him when he complains about how his daughter is sick, which I think is kind of dumb. I thought Venom was going to be cool when he attached this to Peter because it is kind of exciting how like Spider-Man had potential to turn evil, but instead Peter just becomes a complete emo and does so many cringe things like the dancing and crashing out on so many people over little things.
Leave me alone.
Give me rent.
You'll get your rent when you fix this damn door!
And then when Venom gets transferred to Eddie Brock, it is even worse because his motive to kill Spider-Man was bad because it was just because Peter took his job and went out with Gwen Stacy.
You made me lose my girl. Now I'm gonna make you lose yours.
Like, why would he want to kill him over that? Seems unnecessary. And also, I think it looks so dumb when Eddie is talking, like, with his normal voice while he's in the Venom suit. That kind of annoyed me. That did really, like, just throw me off. I did not like that.
Oh yeah, I know all about you.
And for the Harry Green Goblin, I thought it was cool how it picked right off from the last movie. It went like right into Harry becoming the Green Goblin and attacking Spider-Man. But then he gets in an accident and forgets everything, so it makes the whole thing boring. Until Harry remembers everything and tries to get back at Peter and gets with MJ and stuff. And then Harry just forgives him and then they're like best friends again. Like nothing happened because the Alfred, I know his name's not actually Alfred. Like the housekeeper guy, I know it's not Alfred, that's like Batman. But the Alfred guy tells Harry how his dad actually died, which I thought was cool and kind of full circle that Harry found out. But I think Peter should have told him. And then for Harry to die in the end after he had like a pretty good character arc kind of just seems pointless. Like it wasn't sad, it was just like why? I guess he sacrificed himself for Peter, but I thought it was kind of dumb. Last thing I'm going to talk about is Peter and MJ's relationship because I think it's awful. I think their relationship is the worst relationship in all the Spider-Man movies. Why does MJ try to get back with Peter after he kissed Gwen Stacy and then goes out with her when he said she was just a girl in his class? And then why would Peter want to get back with MJ after she got back with Harry? Like what? MJ and Peter should have just not been together in the end. And yeah, I feel like this movie was just a ton of wasted potential, honestly. Number 7. Some people are probably going to be upset about this because a lot of people say this is like the best Spider-Man movie, but for me, this one was nothing too special, honestly. Next up, number 7, I have Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire. This movie, you know, there's a lot of things I like, and then there's just a lot that I don't care for. Peter losing his powers, I think that is a cool thing, but I don't like how it takes up like majority of the movie. It kind of made it feel like only the beginning of the movie and the ending were the exciting, and then everything else was kind of just like him trying to like get his powers back. Not much was happening, and like I feel like Doc Ock doesn't get enough screen time. Like he's kind of there. He's there in the beginning. You see how he becomes a villain, and then he kind of just like isn't in the movie that much up until the very end. I like how Peter told Aunt May that what really happened with Uncle Ben. I thought that was good. Something that annoyed me in this movie, sorry MJ Kristen Dunst again, why does she, like, she knows she's obviously in love with Peter, but I don't know why she's like about to get married to some whole other guy. And it's not until she's literally like at the wedding and then she's like, oh, actually no. I don't know, that kind of pissed me off. I feel like most people probably don't get annoyed at that, but that annoyed me. Like, I understand how she changed her thoughts about Peter when she found out he's Spider-Man, but I just thought it was dumb how she finally realized she shouldn't be getting married to another guy when it's like at her wedding. I think Doc Ock was a cool villain. His motive was like I didn't think it was the best. It was just how he wanted to fight Spider-Man so that Harry would give him the stuff for his big son thing. I don't know what you call it. One of my favorite things in this movie was the dynamics between Harry.
Bruh.
Oh God. One of my favorite things in this movie was the dynamics between Harry and Spider-Man and Harry and Peter Parker. And what I mean by that is how like Harry wanted to kill Spider-Man, obviously because of what happened in the first one with Green Goblin. And then Peter was like also talking to Harry about Spider-Man because Harry didn't know that Peter's Spider-Man, obviously. And Peter knows Spider-Man because he takes his photos. So that was cool. How like they slapped him in the face. Another random scene I thought was kind of dumb was when there's a fire and Peter goes inside the building to save some child. But I don't understand why the child is locked in a closet when the parents are just outside, like terrified. Did they not like escape the fire? Like they didn't bring their child with them. They just left it in a closet. Like that part, I just didn't like that part. One of my favorite characters in this movie is J. Jonah Jameson.
Are you serious?
I think he's very funny in this movie and he makes it like a fun watch. Overall, I think this movie's good. It just doesn't really have like the same impact as the Spider-Man 1 with the Green Goblin does. But yeah, not a bad movie. Number 6. Also, a lot of people are probably not going to like this one. This is also a lot of people's favorites, but it is Spider-Man No Way Home. Honestly, I used to hate on this movie. Some parts of the CGI really pissed me off. Honestly, the first half is pretty boring when he's just like collecting the stuff to cure the villains. I think that bringing back all this old Spider-Man and the villains was cool, but it just, at some parts, it felt like fan service. Like, I know people really liked when like Andrew Garfield saves MJ, but I feel like they just did that like just to do that. The Green Goblin in this is still amazing. He's like the best villain in all the Spider-Man movies, honestly. What threw me off was I just thought it was dumb how Peter, like Tom Holland Peter, didn't listen to Doctor Strange. Like, obviously that's like the point of the movie, and like that's what all the conflict arises from. I don't know, I just thought it was like not really believable that Peter wouldn't listen to Doctor Strange and Peter would want to cure villains that died fighting other Spider-Man, and like everyone agrees with that. I thought that was kind of dumb. Definitely the emotional moments in this movie, like the end when everyone's memory gets wiped, those definitely hit a lot harder after seeing Brand New Day, like the results of it in Brand New Day. So that was good. That definitely made me like this movie more. But yeah, overall it's a good watch. It's not a bad movie by any means. Number 5, a lot of people hate on this movie, and I think it's kind of overhated, but I also see like it's not like super like special by any means. It is Spider-Man Far From Home. There's like no big problems I have with this movie. I think Mysterio is a very cool villain, and I really like all the illusion sequences between him and Peter. I thought those were all very cool. I do like how this movie is in different locations, like Italy, you know, how it's far from home. I really like all the characters in this movie. Ned obviously is very funny again.
Oh, dude, I'm fine. Okay, don't worry. Seriously? Getting tranked in the neck by Nick Fury? Probably the coolest thing that ever happened to me anyway.
The introduction to Peter and MJ is good. I like how she finds out that he's Spider-Man on the bridge.
MJ,
I'm Spider-Man.
What?
And then obviously the plot twist at the end where Mysterio tells everyone that Spider-Man is Peter Parker is great, and it leads to No Way Home and everything else, Brand New Day, blah blah blah. Something I also liked, a little scene that I liked that I thought was cool, was when Mysterio was using his holograms to pretend to die, and then he's actually holding a gun to Peter's head. I liked that. Overall, this movie's pretty solid. I can see why people don't like it that much. Like, I think it is a little forgettable, but I don't have any huge problems with it. That's why it's kind of ranked super high, whereas the ones below it I have like problems with. So yeah, that's my number 5. At number 4, I have TASM 1, The Amazing Spider-Man 1. I think this movie's a little overhated as well. I do like the Lizard. I like Andrew Garfield. I like Gwen Stacy. This movie definitely follows like the exact same formula as the first Tobey Maguire movie. You know, obviously it's the origin story, but I think this movie is a better origin story than Spider-Man 1, the first Tobey Maguire movie, because, you know, you get more screen time with Peter and Uncle Ben before Uncle Ben dies. The impact of Uncle Ben's death is like more in this movie, I think. I like how they show Spider-Man trying to hunt down all the criminals that look like the guy who killed Uncle Ben, and then cops get after him too. That was interesting and unique in this one. I really like how we get to know a little bit more about Peter's parents. They are still a mystery, obviously, but they're not like completely not mentioned at all, like in the Tom Holland and the Tobey Maguire movies. A scene that I liked in this movie is when he gets bit by the spider, when he's in the lab, and then all the spiders, all the radioactive spiders are crawling on him, and then the music, I really like that scene. That was a good part. Something that I also liked in this movie was how when Peter like first gets his powers, how everything starts like sticking to him, like, and he can't control it. I thought that was unique. Oh, also this movie I think has the best suit. I don't know, I really like how it has like the blue on the hands, and I know some people don't like the yellow eyes, but I like them. I think this is just a cool suit. And the swinging scene where like he first gets the suit, he lands on the building, and then you see it in the reflection. I really like that. I do think Gwen Stacy is she better than Zendaya love interest? I think so. Gwen Stacy's probably my favorite love interest in all the Spider-Man movies. I think she's a way more likable character than Kristen Dunst MJ. I think it's cool how she has a direct connection to the Lizard. The Lizard was a unique, cool villain. Like, I like when he is in the Lizard form, but when he's just like the evil scientist, Dr. Connors, his name is, when he's just like in Dr. Connors form, and they had the scene where like there was a voice in his head, I feel like it was like them trying to do Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin again, which I didn't like. But when he's in the Lizard form, I really do like that. I think the ending had a really good final battle. I thought it was really interesting when one of the cops shot Spider-Man, and then all the construction guys like brought out their cranes so that Spider-Man could like swing on the cranes to get to the tower where the Lizard was. That was a really cool scene. This movie, like, not in a bad way, but you can definitely tell it's made in like the early 2010s, you know, with like the music and stuff. Yeah, it's a great watch. I think this one's underrated. Number 3, I have Spider-Man Homecoming. Honestly, I think this is easily the funniest Spider-Man movie, probably because Ned, you know, I love how when he finds out that Peter's Spider-Man, how he keeps asking him these goofy questions.
Do you lay eggs? What?
Another thing I like about this movie is how it kind of skips the origin, like how Peter gets his powers and all the Uncle Ben and stuff, because we've already seen that like twice in live action by this point, so everyone already knows the story. After rewatching this one, I kind of do think that Tom Holland's the best Spider-Man. I think he's definitely fits the role better, considering that he looks the age of like what Peter Parker's supposed to be, at least in this movie he does. Another thing I really like is the suit in this movie. I love Karen, like the lady that he talks to in the suit. I think that's cool with all like the different web shooter abilities and stuff. That was nice. And yeah, the Vulture is an amazing villain that I don't think is talked about enough. He was much better than I remember. I think it was cool how Liz, the love interest, the Vulture was her dad. Like that plot twist was amazing when Peter opens the door to get her for homecoming, and it's the Vulture. It's awesome. And that car scene where they're talking and Michael Keaton, the Vulture's looking at Peter in the mirror trying to intimidate him was a very good scene. And then the plane fight at the end was super cool, and I really liked how Peter like lost his suit. Like Iron Man took away his suit and then he proved himself. He beat the Vulture without a suit. That was amazing. Something I love about this movie, I think this got to be the best like very ending, the best like last scene to a Spider-Man movie, is when May finds out Peter is Spider-Man and she's like, I really like that. That was funny. Yeah, definitely a very good film. Coming in at number 2, we have Spider-Man 1, the original Tobey Maguire movie. This movie is very nostalgic for me. I remember I used to always watch it like over and over again when I was younger. Rewatching it now, it felt the same, but then there's also a lot that felt different. Like there's a lot of stuff in this movie that I did not remember at all, like when Harry and MJ were dating or when Aunt May gets attacked by Green Goblin. I think that Green Goblin is the best live action Spider-Man villain. I think most people can agree with that. Honestly, I think this movie is pretty much perfect. Like there's no scenes I don't like besides the wrestling scene wasn't my favorite, but what comes after that, like with the guy that shoots Uncle Ben, well, doesn't actually, when you find out in Spider-Man 3, but what comes after that is obviously very important, so it makes sense. But yeah, that wasn't my favorite scene. I think all the characters in this movie like serve their purpose, and I think it's a great live action superhero movie, especially for its time. You know, it came out in 2002. There wasn't many other live action Marvel movies, I don't think. Definitely Green Goblin makes this movie like amazing. Green Goblin is what brings this movie super high, and everything else is perfect too. Like there's nothing that I really don't like in this movie. At number 1, I wouldn't say it is a perfect movie, but it is my favorite. It's Spider-Man Brand New Day. Well, I guess I'm gonna get into some spoilers, by the way. But number 1 spot, you know, people will probably just think like, oh, recency bias, but you know, I've seen this movie 3 times. I really just like everything about it, honestly. I think the way that this movie was set up was amazing, and it was super unique. You know, it's the darkest Spider-Man movie. There's nothing else that has like this tone. Like this Spider-Man movie, it's similar to like the mood of like the Batman, like 2022. Like kind of like it's dark. It is darker. It's a lot darker than all the other Spider-Man movies. Obviously, it's still funny. It still has a lot of funny scenes, especially with the Punisher. The Punisher in this movie is great. I know that he's a lot darker in the actual show. I haven't watched the show, but I know that that is true. But I thought he was really funny in this movie, and a good character that I didn't know was going to be in the movie this much. How it starts off with Peter being super alone and how no one knows who he is makes you feel really bad for him and like his loneliness. When I heard that MJ and Ned were going to be in this movie, I was a little concerned because I wasn't like sure how they were going to handle it, but how they did, I thought was amazing. When MJ found the letter, I thought that was amazing. That was one of my favorite scenes. And then obviously the ending with the Ned and Peter handshake was awesome. Before seeing this movie, I did know that Sadie Sink was going to be Jean Grey, but I had no idea who Jean Grey was. Honestly, I don't know anything really about the X-Men, but I thought she was a super cool villain, and she had a great motive with like her sister, Sarah Grey, obviously being taken control by Damage Control. And then I love how in the end she becomes good after going into Peter's mind, and then Peter takes the shot for her, which I thought was a very good emotional scene. Like I didn't think he was going to die, but it was still a very impactful scene. This movie had great themes of like grief, love, and friendship. I think this movie was more impactful in like any other Spider-Man movie, honestly. And the soundtrack is something that maybe also gives me a little more bias to this movie. Honestly, there's nothing I disliked about this movie. I thought the action was really good, and I loved the whole thing where his arachnid hormones were like taking over, and then he got like the organic webs. That was really cool. I was also worried about like Hulk being in this movie. Like I wasn't sure if they were just putting in Hulk to have Hulk in the movie, but he served a good purpose, and the fight scene with him was cool. Overall, I want to see this movie for a fourth time. I did really like it that much. And yeah, I think it's the best Spider-Man movie. Number 2 and number 1 are very close. But yeah, right now I prefer Brand New Day as my favorite. And yeah, that's gonna be pretty much my ranking. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I know, I definitely have some ones higher that people won't agree with, and then some lower that people also won't agree with. So let me know your thoughts. Make sure to share, like, notifications, subscribe, all the above, and have a good day. Thanks for watching.